Streaming from the 22 News Broadcast Center. This is 22 News at 4 p.m. Digital Edition.
Hey, good Tuesday afternoon, and thank you for joining us for 22 News at 4 o'clock. I'm Nick Oresco. After a warmer day yesterday, the cold and the wind are back. Let's bring in 22 News from team meteorologist Brian Lapis now with a look at traffic and weather. Brian.
Bringing that up reminds me that climatologically, we are now in the coldest part of the year here in the Pioneer Valley, at least according to the records at Westover Air Reserve Base. So 32 is our average high temperature for the next few days, and that is the climatologically coolest high temperature of the year.
Right on track.
Yeah, and fittingly, we have some fairly chilly air in here as well. We'll talk about that in a minute, but first, traffic is fine. I'm just looking here. Yes, Berkshires to Brimfield on the Pike, we're in good shape. I-91 north and south is good. 391, 291 also running fine. Temperatures right now are in the mid-20s to low 30s. 31 Springfield, 27 in Orange, 28 Greenfield and Northampton. And notice, as expected, we're cooler in the Berkshires as well. 21 right now in Pittsfield. Take a quick look. These are the sustained wind speeds, so the more or less constant wind speeds. We have some gusts, by the way, over 30 miles per hour in the valley. 20 mile per hour wind speed right now, Springfield 13 miles per hour, Orange, North Adams, and Pittsfield 17 miles per hour in Westfield. Take the air temperature, combine it with the wind. We do some math, and this is what it feels like outside. Keep in mind, we do not have wind chill sensors at Northampton or Great Barrington, so it's a good reference point. The wind is making the air feel like it's in the teens in Hamden, Hampshire, and Franklin County at our reporting stations, at least there, and in the single digits at Pittsfield. So, quick look at the clouds and radar. You can see we've got a mixture of sun and clouds that's expected this afternoon. And as we head into the middle of the week, more dry weather, more cool weather. We'll show you with our 22 News Storm Team forecast.
A serial rapist who pled guilty to assaulting at least 6 women at gunpoint was sentenced today in Springfield. Ali Jafar of West Springfield pleaded guilty to 30 charges in December. Prosecutors say Jafar would pick up women in the south end of Springfield and drive them to Bear Hole Reservoir in West Springfield, where he would threaten them with a gun and rape them, leaving the victims in the woods. Prosecution was seeking a sentence of 36 to 40 years.
I would suggest the maximum penalty is what's needed to assure that women can walk safely in the area of Springfield and West Springfield, all over Hamden County, without having to deal with someone who did this scientifically, picking his victims with care, making sure he's adapting to the police presence at one of the scenes.
The judge sentenced Ghaffar to 22 years total in a state prison with 5 additional years of probation. He will also have to register as a sex offender. Pete Hegseth's confirmation hearing was held today. President-elect Trump's pick for defense secretary was questioned by the Senate Armed Services Committee. Hegseth is a combat veteran and former Fox News host. He has faced serious opposition in his nomination with questions about his qualifications, comments he made suggesting women should not serve in combat roles, and allegations of sexual assault and alcohol abuse. He has denied any wrongdoing. Officials say Hamas has accepted a draft agreement for a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip and the release of dozens of hostages. Officials say Israel and the Palestinian militant group are at the closest point yet to sealing a deal that would bring them a step closer to ending 15 months of war. The Associated Press obtained a copy of the proposed agreement, and an Egyptian official and a Hamas official confirmed it. An Israeli official said progress has been made, but details are being finalized. The 3-phase plan would need Israeli cabinet approval. The TSA says it will start enforcing the new Real ID rules for airline passengers on May 7th, but the agency is adding some optional flexibility. Starting on that date, only state-issued IDs that meet security requirements will be allowed for official proposals, including boarding commercial aircraft. In accordance to a 9/11 Commission recommendation, Congress passed the Real ID Act in 2005 to enhance security standards. Real ID cards carry a star in the upper right-hand corner. Back now with meteorologist Brian Lapis. Brian, it looks like our continued quiet week.
Dry weather
continues.
Yeah, a little wind, but That's probably not going to slow you down. It'll be a little annoying, but we're not talking about any significant snow, at least through Saturday. Let's take a look. Clouds and radar showing we have the dry weather in place and sunshine from time to time. It's been a mixture of sun and clouds today. And as we head into the evening hours, we expect that we'll be clearing out a bit. Notice 22 News Storm Team Skycast 5 o'clock here this afternoon. A few clouds at 7 o'clock, and then through about midnight tonight we have clouds in play. And then after midnight, at least in the valley, we clear out pretty nicely. Still some clouds in the Berkshires. You know, when we get this northwest wind, moisture off the Great Lakes kind of rises up, bumps up against the Berkshires and forms clouds. That's what we got here for tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock. Mostly clear, though, in the valley, and a partly to mostly sunny day here tomorrow. This is noontime tomorrow. Sunshine in the valley, clouds in the Berkshires, and the clouds will continue over the hills through the end of the day tomorrow. But in the valley, fairly bright. Still breezy, not quite as windy as today. There'll be some wind gusts over 20 miles per hour tomorrow as opposed to the wind gusts over 30 miles per hour today, and a high of 28 to 32. We come out of the wind and start to warm up a little bit toward the end of the week. We'll track it on 22 News at 5.
Starbucks announced plans to introduce a new policy and code of conduct that will go into effect at the end of the month. The coffee chain said it was reversing its open door policy, now requiring patrons to be paying customers to remain in the store. The new policy is set to go into effect on January 27th. Also bans discrimination or harassment, consumption of outside alcohol, smoking, vaping, drug use, and panhandling. Chinese officials facing a U.S. ban on TikTok have discussed the possible sale of the app's U.S. operations to a non-Chinese party like Elon Musk. The Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg say it's unclear whether the idea has been presented to China's top leaders. A TikTok spokesperson said, quote, "We cannot be expected to comment on pure fiction." Beijing has protested a law that would ban TikTok unless its Chinese parent company ByteDance gets rid of the U.S. business. The law goes into effect on Sunday unless the U.S. Supreme Court issues a stay. Coming up tonight on 22 News, starting at 5 o'clock, the Greater Boston Food Bank has reported nearly half the population of Hampden County is food insecure. We'll explain what that means and what is being done to improve those numbers. Plus, several businesses are receiving federal grants to support renewable energy projects, and a controversial Massachusetts ballot question is back in the spotlight. Senate lawmakers now meeting with the state auditor to discuss the implementation of a law that would allow her to audit the legislature.
Traffic running fine as we start to get going on the evening commute. You can see here I-91 in good shape. And the Pike is also in fine shape. Windy day again tomorrow. We'll track a gradual warming trend as we head toward the weekend with a 22 News Storm Team forecast on 22 News at 5.
Brian, thank you, and thank you for joining us for 22 News at 4. Updates anytime at wwlp.com and the free 22 News app.